Some storms arrive with warning. Others don't announce themselves at all. They gather quietly in pressure, in breath, in moments that feel slightly out of balance. They wait for the exact instant when a life is already holding itself together. This is not a story about lightning as destruction. It is a story about impact, about what happens when power meets a body that already understands limits, about a moment that doesn't take something away, but changes how gravity works forever. Before there was a name, before there was a symbol, before the storm learned patience, there was one night, one strike, and a young man who never stopped standing. Stormbound, Chapter 1. After the strike, the storm had been building for hours. Not the loud kind, not the kind people rushed away from. This one gathered quietly, clouds stacking on themselves, air thickening until every breath felt charged. Jacob's storm noticed it the way he noticed most things, not all at once, but in pieces. The way the wind pressed harder against his jacket, the way the city lights below flickered unevenly, the way his hands tightened around his canes without him meaning to. Rebecca walked a few steps behind him as they reached the overlook. "You sure you're okay?" she asked. Jacob nodded. He always did when he meant I am, just slower than you want me to be. He planted both canes carefully. Left, right, metal tips met concrete with a familiar sound. Solid, reliable. The overlook had always been one of the few places where Jacob didn't feel rushed. The city stretched out below them, distant and small, while the sky felt close enough to touch. The clouds rolled low. Something about them made Jacob uneasy. The air vibrated, not audibly, but inside his chest, like a low note held too long. Rebecca noticed his stillness. She stopped talking. "Jacob," she said gently, "maybe we should head back." He didn't answer right away. The wind gusted suddenly, hard enough to knock one cane slightly out of position. Jacob corrected instinctively, shoulders tightening, breath catching as he fought for balance. That's when the thunder hit. Not distant, right above them. The sound slammed into his body, rattling his bones, stealing his breath. Rebecca shouted his name, already moving toward him. The lightning followed. A jagged white bolt tore down just yards away, striking the railing with explosive force. Heat blasted across the overlook. The shockwave sent one of Jacob's canes flying from his hand. It clattered, spun, and skidded across the concrete. Jacob cried out as his balance failed. Rebecca lunged, but Jacob slammed the remaining cane down, every muscle locking as he fought gravity, the only way he knew how. The second strike came blue. Not white, not random. It didn't hit him directly. Not like the first, but it reached. Electricity leapt from the railing, through the fallen cane, through the air itself, and into the one still gripped in Jacob's hands. The world exploded into light. Blue lightning wrapped around his arms, his shoulders, his spine. his muscles seized, not in pain, but in perfect, terrifying stillness, as if something had found the exact frequency it needed. The fallen cane began to shake. Rebecca screamed his name as the second cane lifted off the ground, surrounded by crackling blue energy. Metal softened, split, unraveled into threads of light that pulled toward Jacob's hands. The two canes met, merged, compressed. Jacob screamed once as the energy surged through him, and then his body gave out. He fell. He woke to sound before sight. Beeping, slow, steady. His body felt impossibly heavy, like gravity had been tuned wrong. When he tried to move, nothing responded right away. Jacob, the voice cut through the fog. He forced his eyes open. White ceiling, harsh lights, the smell of disinfectant. Hospital. Rebecca sat beside the bed, her hand locked around his leg. She was afraid he might disappear again. Her face crumpled when she saw his eyes open. "Oh, thank God," she whispered. His throat felt raw. His head pounded. "What happened?" he asked. Her relief flickered, replaced by hesitation. Doctors came. Nurses followed. Words drifted past him. Lightning strike. Unconscious. No burns. No neurological damage. Unusual but stable. They asked him questions. He answered them carefully, methodically, the way he always did. Name, age, date. Then, do you remember the storm? Nothing. His mind was blank. That night, rain traced slow paths down the hospital window. Jacob stared at the ceiling while machines kept time for him. Sleep came in broken pieces. Blue light, pressure, a feeling of being held in midair. Each time he reached for it, the memory slipped away. Rebecca didn't leave. She told him quietly what she'd seen. About the lightning, about the canes, about how the second one had lifted, how the light had pulled them together. "You didn't disappear," she said. "You didn't burn. You just changed." Jacob listened, heart pounding. "I don't remember any of it," he said. "That's okay," she replied. "You don't have to, not yet." The staff appeared the next morning, leaning against the wall near the window. Single, solid, grooved with deep lines that glowed faint blue when the room dimmed. Jacob stared at it. "My canes?" he asked. Rebecca swallowed. They didn't survive. He reached toward the staff, then stopped, fear freezing his hand halfway. It took days. Physical therapy, observation, careful steps. Jacob moved the way he always had, measured, intentional. His body hadn't been rewritten. It had been reinforced. One afternoon, alone in the room, the air shifted. Not dramatically, just lighter. Jacob felt it before he saw it. His feet lifted off the floor, barely an inch. He froze, every muscle braced for a fall that never came. He hovered, heart pounding, breath shaking, not flying, floating. The staff thrummed softly against the wall. blue light pulsing once, Jacob lowered himself carefully until his feet touched the floor again. When Rebecca returned, he told her. She didn't doubt him. She nodded slowly. "I thought that might be first." "First?" he asked. She met his eyes. "The storm didn't take anything from you," she said. "It gave you something, but it's not going to rush you." Jacob looked at the staff, at the space beneath his feet, at the window where distant thunder rolled softly, like a promise waiting to be kept. He was still Jacob Storm, still careful, still limited, still real. But now, the storm had chosen him, and this time, it was willing to wait. The storm doesn't fade when the sky clears. It settles. It waits in the quiet after impact, in the spaces where strength is measured not by speed or force, but by control, by restraint, by choice. Jacob Storm is still learning what the storm has given him and what it may one day ask in return. This is not a story about becoming limitless. It is a story about learning where power belongs. The storm is listening, and it will move again when he's ready.